The rebel is usually a result of something, isn't it? A result of feeling, from my perspective, like you don't like the world, you don't like the way it's structured, you don't like all the rules, you don't like the way your parents behave, perhaps, your teachers behave, all the rest. And you can be sensing the craziness in the world is one aspect of it. You could simply be a rebel because you're hurt and don't want anyone to see it. You're in pain and you want to not show weakness and show defense and show toughness and show resilience so you can shield up and start rebelling against everything. Now, the first rebels, well, why do we shield up and go down the rebel? Because it seems to be the most suitable, least resistance path. And also you might somewhere and think that you've watched a lot of TV shows and it's cool to be the rebel, and James Dean and whatever else, and all the different characters you see on movies, and your favorite rock star, rap star, all that. It gets the girls, it gets attention, right? Gets the guys as well, then, yeah.
Oh, that's the thing.
And on it goes, right? It can be a whole bunch of things. You can build a super cool character with a rebel, can't you? You can build something quite, valuable in the world, right? For your ego, for your I. And you can hide from all your fears at the same time, while appearing like a knight or a warrior. So it's a pretty seductive character, yeah? Isn't it? If you just became a victim, for example, I mean, not like you're choosing it, it's happening. You might choose it to some degree, but it's cool just happening. But a victim isn't very attractive, is it? I mean, you get, let's say, because what are young guys mainly into? Let's talk from a guy's perspective. Young guys want to be popular and they want girls. That's kind of if you were to put it in the top rankings of what they're looking for. They want excitement. So the rebel character ticks those boxes pretty good, right? And of course, you don't want to be like your parents, and you don't want to be like your mum, you don't want to be like your teachers, right? And also, it's part of us, we want to keep being new, isn't it? Like, we want to be in our own power and our own way. That's why slang keeps turning up, isn't it? The language keeps evolving. So I don't want to speak like the old people. I want new language, and only we understand each other. Right? It's that same thing. It's that new. But then guess what? 10 years' time, you're old, you're dead, you're boring. Right? The next generation's going. And on it goes, the cycles. And each one thinks they're special. Then, and on it goes. We're just talking about young men, maybe young women too, just that whole cycle. So the rebel's attractive to people, especially if you're wounded. But the rebel, there's another rebel that's just rebelling against the madness of society. It's what we do here. It's the rebel. It's a healthy rebel. It's a functional rebel. It's rebelling, going, no, I know there's all this pressure for me to be a daughter or a son or a friend with 2.4 kids in the suburbs next to my friends or next to my family, popping out children, and and that's fine. That's okay. But it's not a chore or a duty. It's something you choose to do or you don't do from your own will, not from programming you've been given or from your own being. And it just happens too, right? Well, it doesn't just happen. It's a bird and bee thing, but I'm sure you know all that, right? So this second rebels, what I do here, what we're doing here is a rebellion, isn't it? Or not? Because we've been programmed, all of us have been programmed to be a certain way. We've been cookie cutted. I remember being in high school in year 9 or year 10, bring out the book of all the occupations, and then they give you an IQ check to see, and here's the part of the book that you're okay. You can go pick one out of here. Which one would you like? I mean, there's no harm in it, right? It's well-meaning and it's fine, but it's a very limited view you get offered, and if you're not aware and you don't have some sort of wider view of it, that can be all your options, and you think that's what your life is. And a rebel with personal issues around things might just go screw all that, blah, 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 and they're way better off than somebody conforming. They're way better than the person trying to just fit into whatever they've been given, because they'll have that eyesight, that the wounding will push their eyesight to see all the craziness. Now you can get caught in negativity and spiral down, etc., of course, but then you head further into suffering, and you might come back this way anyway. But in a way, this is a little bit of a rebel's game. Because society wants you to be one way, and it's a rebellion not to be. And then you have to stalk, like you have to be evolving deeper into your being and what you are, which can a lot of the time align far deeper with the world and make it so much better, society, your interaction in it. And other times it's very counter to what society wants from you, domestication wants from you. And you have to be okay with all of it. And lots of people not liking you, lots of people thinking you're a problem, lots of people thinking there's something wrong with you, lots of people thinking you've got agendas you may or may not have, you probably don't have if you're getting deeper. That's a part of it. You have to be, that's a part of it. That's what happens to a rebel, isn't it? The mainstream, and you're not. Or you're not, whatever that action angle is, and you have to be okay with it. The true rebel, not the afraid rebel, the true rebel, the truth rebel. It's not in India, it's normal. It's a great honor for you to be a sadhu. Oh, for most people, if you're in the middle of the business world and all the rest of it, maybe not. It's getting a lot more westernized now, but in some countries, it's a great honor to be doing this work, but not in our country. In our country, you're a rebel. It's almost like in some of these countries, you're domesticated to be a monk. It's just so normal, or be doing this sort of work. In our country, it's the opposite. Our country is about intellect, or the West is about intellect. It's about knowledge. It's about slicing things extremely fine to see all the little components, but you've got not any fucking idea of what's actually going on overall. You become a baloney slicer. And you can be very good at it and very smart. You still don't have any peace from it. It might give you a little bit of rest to have your mind focused into reality, measurable, double-blind, confirmable science and studies. It gives you like a foundation of not having a dysfunctional mind. Wonderful. So you've cleaned yourself up. You're not just running around in heresy, you might say, with dreams and beliefs and stories of how things are and gods and demons and folklore. So you get more happiness, but you're still trapped. But I would say less trapped. So the rebel you're talking about, yeah, it's a dysfunction or a function of fear, right? Or desire, fear and desire. And the other one I'm talking about is the one that allows you to keep doing this game even though your parents don't like it, your friends don't like it, the newspapers don't like it. The TVs don't like it. They're always looking for an excuse to run this sort of work down. If they know about it all, there's a reason a lot of teachers keep it pretty low key. Or make it super, super light and fluffy for the masses. Super light and fluffy and just a nice, gentle veneer for everybody. Instead of realizing you've got to go into your psyche. You've got to see a lot of what you've been programmed as madness. It's craziness. And it's going to, you just become a biological robot. Unaware of what you actually are. Just a character. A caricature. Just like your avatar on your local social media or on your social media. An avatar. An idea of something. A series of ideas. A projection. A presentation. And this is rebelling against that. And you will be made to pay for that. And you need to be okay with it. But the reward is the inner, and the reward is within. And from the outside, people can't see it. They don't know. They just see you the same, but you're deluded. You're in some crazy religion, or you're in some crazy self-help group because you're broken. Unlike me, I'm not broken. They are. That's why they're doing it. I'm not broken. I've got my stuff together. You poor, poor person. Of course, maybe you do need to be there. Maybe that's the best place for your brokenness and your weakness. And it's 180 degrees out, isn't it? It takes the utmost courage to be in a room like this and to be doing this. And the person doing the judgment is possibly a coward or just full of fear or ignorant. Or just not aligned to it. Just could be that simple. Just not aligned with it. Just not their time yet. Wasn't my time once. Wasn't any of yours time once. We're all that too. We're all that one. Actually. So that's it. So now the rebel is ready to pay the price to be a rebel, because you can't be being a rebel and nobody knowing about it isn't being a rebel. That's just nothing. Being a rebel is just owning how you are and what you're up to and what you're doing. And let the world laugh at you. Be the fool of all your super wise friends, the super wise media. Allow yourself to be the fool of that. And as Goenka said in the Vipassana retreats, he says, don't advertise what you do until, I'm paraphrasing, it might have been a Buddhist statement actually, but paraphrased by him, paraphrased by me. Let people see the dripping sweetness off the mango. That's when they will see it, not before, not when you put the tree in, not when you're watering it. They will only understand when they see the dripping fruit. So if you're worried about what they think and trying to fit into all their programming and all the rest of it, instead of being what you are, there's no dripping fruit there. That's you still selling out. That's no rebellion. Staying calm when others are moving, not joining in the negative banter or the attacks or the pity parties, the boasting. or the competition, or the blah blah. But if you do any of those, it's with full awareness, you're playing a role for a function. There, because that person, that's where they're at, and you want to meet them as best you can. So you meet them at the highest place they can meet you. So that, but it doesn't mean you lose yourself into it to fit in. That's a rebellion, but of the kindest manner, isn't it? And it can always sound arrogant in what I'm saying, like we're looking down on people. It's not about that. It's about the fact that we're working deeper and deeper into our psyche regularly, ongoing. So what's going to happen? You're going to see other things people aren't seeing. You're going to understand things other people aren't understanding because you're spending time doing it. It's not about specialness. It's about time in the game. A professor doesn't run around of mathematics, run around telling everybody the highest of his knowledge to somebody that's in middle school or whatever, primary school, high school. He's going to try and meet them where they're at so they can understand what he says. No, this is what I'm talking about. Because what's the point otherwise? What's the point? Same. He spent a lot of time on that subject as we spend a lot of time on our inner. So we meet people where they're at. Maybe just give them a little bit more, just like a maths professor was, just a little bit more, just enough they can handle. Maybe the occasional comment that blows their mind so they get inspired to go deeper into mathematics or into this, whatever it is. This is the only true game because mathematics and everything's in it. Everything's in it. Doesn't mean I know mathematics. What I mean is I know that all the math is within the oneness. And I'm not going to mathematically be able to find that. Or even if I do, it's an intellectual understanding of it. Not it. Not it. Yeah. Completely different. So that's the real rebellion. We got the troublesome rebellion, and we've got the real rebellion. And even the real rebellion at some point, that's ridiculous too. Okay. There's just isness happening now. That's all there is. And little Sky doesn't even understand that. There's just pure now. That's it. Isn't it? She doesn't even have any of that computation going on. That's the natural state, but she's uninformed. She's not able to survive in the world. She's reliant. She just cries for food, cries for attention, cries when she's uncomfortable. But she's pure awareness. She's aware she's uncomfortable and there's a response. With a mature mind and an adult mind, that response would be staying calm and being. You need to eat, you eat. You need to walk, you walk. You need to fire, you get wood. And if that doesn't happen, oh well, you're okay. Because inside you, it's glowing. Inside you is a light. Inside you is just the most intoxicating nectar of joy and beauty. The fruiting of conscious, the dripping fruit. The flowering and fruiting of consciousness. So at first it's a flowering and vastness and nectar. And later, yeah, the syrup's there. The nectar's there.